Now to a subject most families fear, but which more and more Perth parents are confronting, their children's homosexuality. In the first of a two-part special report, Yvette Mooney talks to families who've shared the shock of their lives.
When we think of the gay community, most of us think of this. Very few of us see this.
After Jeff told his parents about the two of us, a couple of weeks later they invited us to dinner, and I thought, oh, how's this going to go down? And I was quite nervous about it, and we went to dinner and I sat there and I sort of had the feeling I was the main course almost.
Graham and Jeff are lovers. They've been together for 12 years. You'd never know they're homosexuals, neither did their parents, until they dropped the bombshell.
All sorts of things went through my mind. Drugs, girl trouble, it's just strangely funny now. When he said simply, I'm gay, our world was just sort of turned completely upside down.
So it was very, very traumatic. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, without a shadow of a doubt.
Jeff and Graham and their families are not alone. Research indicates 1 in 10 Perth people is gay. On average, 1 family in 4 has a gay member, and parents are usually the last to find out.
I think a lot of people are under the impression that you either put frocks on all the time or you do molest children.
In fact, a lot of gay people, in fact, I think the majority of them are out there in the suburbs, in long-term relationships, just like everybody else.
Good afternoon, Gay and Lesbian Counselling Service. Can I help you?
The Gay and Lesbian Counselling Service receives up to 30 calls a day from people often desperate for support.
A report recently from Queensland showed that of youth suicide, young people suiciding, 30% of them suicided over sexuality issues.
Tomorrow night, is your child gay? Are there signs? And how do parents cope? Yvette Mooney, 7 Nightly News.
Now it's time for sport, and for the first time in 3 weeks.
A strong response last night to our report on Perth families confronting homosexuality. Some callers condemning, others praising 7 Nightly News for our handling of the subject. Tonight, a question for all parents. Are there telltale childhood signs of homosexuality?
When a parent ponders their child's future, their dreams know no bounds. But what happens if your child's gay?
Parents just go into a, if you like, a kind of shock reaction. They get very upset. Mothers are more likely to be upset and fathers are more likely to withdraw.
Because you have a dream for your children, rightly or wrongly, and suddenly that dream has gone.
Perth grandmother Margaret Pugh and her husband John are a surprise package. Not only have they accepted their son's homosexuality, they now support other parents who are struggling to cope with shattered dreams.
You cannot necessarily predict which child will go on to be gay or lesbian.
Perth psychologist Viv Cass says there are no real signs to look out for, especially in youngsters.
You know, boys will play with dolls and girls will play with trucks, and they'll dress in clothing of the opposite sex if we allow them, and that's just very normal.
In Jeff's case, he played with trucks, dated women and drove fast cars. It seems the macho Aussie male is not immune to homosexuality either.
People should recognise gay people play football. Gay men play football, gay women play football, or lesbians play football. They also do everything else that everyone else does as well.
And for heterosexuals too, the pressure's on if you don't fit the bill.
Oh, if you're not big and muscly, then you must be gay.
I had lots of feelings about why, you know, the big why. Hadn't I been a macho father to him? Margaret perhaps been a very dominant mother? These things seem just a bit crazy.
Is someone born or made heterosexual? We don't know that, so we certainly don't know why people are homosexual either.
Debate continues to rage over whether you're born gay or whether childhood experiences and your relationship with your parents are an influence. Most gays don't question the reason. For them, homosexuality is just a way of life.
Possible. You can't really predict the future, but it's been 12 years. I think the first 12 years are probably the hardest, so we're certainly planning the rest of our lives together.